Hello. Sorry this is a day late. I was supposed to do this review yesterday, but with a couple things going on, I wasn't able to get around to it. But this afternoon, I am going to do both the Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live reviews, like one after the other. So the two videos are about to be done right now. So here's Monday Night Raw from this week live review, or yeah, one take, whatever. Yeah. So the first segment, it showed the video package from Roman Reigns from last October when he diagnosed his leukemia, so he had to leave, and yeah, that that's still sad, and I still remember like not believing it until. First of all, it takes me a while to grasp onto things sometimes, and like until he was saying goodbye to Seth and Dean and Seth was like sobbing. It was when it hit home for me that it was like that it was real. That I finally realized. I guess I didn't want to believe it, or I don't know, but I it was a hard night. That whole night was just that was rough. But knowing that Roman was about to come out to tell everyone how he was doing and stuff, that like I couldn't wait for that. And he came out and he greeted every single person who was in the front rows, like went all the way around taking his time to everyone. He hugged his mom and he hugged his mom and aunt who were both in the audience, who were both in the crowd. And then he finally got in the ring and he grabbed the microphone, and the first thing he did was he just thanked everyone. And he said that, like, in October, he talks about his faith and how he knew that God's voicemail was full or something because so many people were, like, praying for him and everything. And he said that he was scared at November about sharing his secret, sharing the fact that he had leukemia because he didn't know how anyone would take it. But all the blessings and love and support and prayers helped him. And he said that he remembered how he said that they were going to make a home, that they were going to, like, bat it out of the park or something, that he was going to swing for the fences when it came to fighting his leukemia, and we did better and made a home run. And then he said it was time to say the update, which was he's in remission. And that's awesome. I was worried for him a lot, and just like, but he looked good, and the fact that he's in remission now, so he's in remission, and that's awesome. And so he thanked, yeah, and he said the big dog is back and that this is our yard, not just his yard, but our yard. And before he leaves, he thanks everyone again and says that he loves everybody. I mean, the first thing he said was he loves us and that he missed us, which is cool. But then he says that he loves everyone again, thanks everyone once again, and then as he leaves, when he's walking down the ramp, Seth Rollins comes out and he's clapping, he's happy, and like he wanted to, and Roman went up to him and they hugged, and then they're just looking at each other and like looking around, just smiling. It was a great moment, and I'm just happy that Roman is better. He's in remission, his leukemia is gone again, and I hope it stays away this time. Like, I just hope it stays gone now and that he's just fine for good. Like, that would be... That whole segment, like... Obviously, it was awesome, and it was great to see Roman again, and it's good to know that he's healthy again. And so... Yeah, all I can really say about that. It's awesome. Next, we get to the first match. The Revival got a jobber entrance, meaning they got the entrance during the commercial, which is like they're the tag team champions. You should be allowed to see them, but okay. But Aleister Black and Ricochet came out because they were fighting the Revival. And I love watching Aleister and Ricochet. They do a lot more selling than and stuff than I would have preferred them to do. But I do love seeing Ricochet and Aleister Black do it. And of course, of course, Aleister Black and Ricochet won. So that's awesome. I always love that. And also, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable were watching from the back. And that's just, I kind of like seeing people do that, That's cool. So, not really much to say. The match wasn't very long. It's just, I love Aleister and Ricochet. Happy they won. Next, Charlie Caruso interviews Baron Corbin, and she asks him, now that Roman's back, do you take back the things you said and about how you hoped he would never come back? And then Baron at first is like, I never said that. And then she says, well, we have the footage. And then he's like, okay, well, I was emotional that night. And then he's saying that Roman has no idea what kind of stress I was under. And then Charlie was like, so you are comparing your stress as former GM to Roman fighting leukemia? And Baron goes, well, just for Roman's sake, I hope we don't run into each other tonight. For me, it's just you can't compare GM job to fighting for your life, literally, with leukemia. It's seriously, Baron? Really? Really? That bugged me. It's come on, no. I'm sorry, but I think Roman has you beat too on that, Baron. Yeah, and then Shawn is shown being interviewed. There's this red carpet thing for Ric Flair's birthday party, and people are being interviewed. So Shawn's being interviewed. Johnny Gargano walks behind him, and Shawn kind of turns around, and tells Johnny to come over, and then they're talking to the interviewer and stuff. It's great. And then you hear Elias strum his guitar, and the music's coming out next, so we know what the next thing is. And yet they get there, and before Elias can even say his name or anything, Lacey Evans again walks down the ramp and then walks right back up. That's getting old. that's just getting really old. I'm starting to it doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. Okay. And then again, before Elias can do anything, Dean Ambrose comes out, and he's talking about since everyone's in a festive, celebrating mood, he wants to challenge Drew McIntyre to a no disqualification match. And then as he's getting in the ring, Elias starts to play his guitar again, and Dean's like, what are you doing? I'm you're trying to send me off this is an award show or something? And then, of course, Elias insults the crowd, yay. And then Dean's like, I don't know why you're getting upset. I'm a fan of you. It's do you take requests? Do you know, Thunderstruck, and do you know Dirty Deeds? Elias is like, oh, okay. He turns around, and he goes to hit Dean with the guitar, but Dean ducks and then nails Elias with Dirty Deeds. And it's awesome. So, the fact that Dean has just suddenly turned face or is just doing whatever he wants, it's both cool and both confusing, because it's he just turned, out of nowhere, and now we're just kind of well, oh, okay. So, next, the Riot Squad are going against Ronda Rousey and Natalya. This match, I'm pretty sure Ronda and Natalya won by disqualification, because we're in the middle of the match. Talia's in control, or is in the match with Ruby or something. She's out on the ring, and then out on the floor by the ring. And then Becky, with one crutch, comes out of the crowd. One security guard tries to stop her, so she punches him. And then she goes, and Natalya's trying to tell her, just yo, you don't have to do this, just go. And so Becky starts beating up Natalya with the crutch. And then Ronda comes out, obviously. I mean, like, that made the disqualification, so Ronda and Natalia, I guess, won by disqualification. Then Ronda came out to help Natalia and, like, tried to take the crutch away from Becky. Becky got it back, and then Ronda, and, like, they were just going at each other. And then security guards, and finally the police came out, got Becky, took her up the ramp, and then when they were on the ramp, they, like, handcuffed her. But she was like, be careful with those hands. I need them to hold the women's title. They're going to hold the women's title. You should be arresting them. And stuff, so that was interesting. And it just showed Ronda in the ring so mad. Like, she was not happy with this. And then they went to the commercial, and when they come back, Ronda is, like, helping Natalia up the ramp, and then when she's far enough up, and, like, Ronda knows that Natalia is being helped, she goes back in the ring, she grabs the mic, and she goes, let's just end this, Vince, get out here. Instead, Stephanie McMahon comes out, and Ronda's just like, I'm at my wit's end, Stephanie, just reinstate Becky, and let's just have the match at WrestleMania, just do it. Stephanie gets in the ring, and she's like, I know how you feel, this isn't what I wanted either, but your opponent is Charlotte Flair. And she goes to leave, and Ronda's like, no, that's not good enough. And Ronda's just talking about how, like, it's like, the match is supposed to be Becky. Like, Becky is supposed to be in this thing. You just care about what you guys want to do. And, like, and she's like, this title, like, I'm just carrying it. You're acting like it's some sort of trophy thing. You're just, like, choosing people who don't deserve shots or whatever, like, to just take it. And, like, and I'm not about this. It's like, there's a match that's worth it, but you guys aren't going to do it. And, like, well, like, not those words exactly, but there was a lot of, like, they gave her a lot of dialogue, and you could tell she was having trouble, like, trying to get all of it out. But still, it's like, she was basically just telling stuff. It's like, you're not doing this right. And then she goes, Vince is the one who makes all the, he says he's the man, and he makes all the tough decisions. Steph, it's time for him to make the right one. And then she has the belt, and she just puts it down on the floor in front of Stephanie. So Ronda literally just gave up the Raw Women's Championship because of how things have been going. So unless Becky is reinstated into the match, there's not going to be a Raw Women's Champion. Like, I know that you should not give Ronda a lot of monologue, because she can do it if it's a couple sentences, but if it's a whole lot of stuff, then she, like, struggles to remember and things, so it's like, shouldn't give her a whole lot. But I do like the fact that she literally was like, either we have our match, or you don't have a Raw Women's Champion anymore, so it's like, that was interesting. I like that. And I can't wait till next week to see where that goes. And next, Jinder Mahal comes out, and he insults Ric Flair, like, wondering what has he accomplished and stuff. And he's mad that he wasn't invited to Ric Flair's birthday, so he says, anyone who was invited, come out so I can fight you. Kurt Angle comes out and beats Jinder Mahal in a quick match with the ankle lock. Not too much to say about that, just cool to see Kurt actually win. That was by himself. That was good. And with the ankle lock. But then Alexa Bliss came out because it was time for a moment of bliss. Alexa Bliss interviewed Finn Balor for a tiny bit, where she was just like, you are the Intercontinental Champion, but the title is, like, covering your abs. And Finn's like, Alexa, you trying to make me blush? And then Alexa's like, how about this? You show me your abs, and I'll show you mine. And then Lio Rush comes out, and Corey officially hates Lio Rush now. because Leo interrupted that. And he, once again, comes out and does the thing where it's like, you don't deserve this title, Bobby Lashley does. And then Finn is like, so you want to fight for the Intercontinental Championship? And Leo's like, no, that's not what I was saying. And Finn's like, no, I accept. I like this idea. And Leo's, again, just like, no, you're not understanding. And then Finn's like, no, I get it. Like, you cost your buddy the title, so now you want to win it back. And stuff. And then, or do you think you're not man? And then Alexa's like, you think you're not man enough to do it? And Finn is like, ooh, which is just weird. And Leo's like, fine, let's do it. I'll just go to the back and get my gear on and get ready and prepare. And Lex is like, yeah, you can't prepare because it's on right now. And so Leo is mad and he's like, at least let me have my entrance. He gets halfway down the ramp and, and then Finn's music plays and Finn gets to do his full-length entrance. They have a really good match and like Leo targets Finn's knee, but Finn gets the coup de grace on Leo and retains the title. So here you go. By far was the match of the night for me, I will say, because they did have a really good match and Leo had quite a bit of offense and was doing pretty good, but Finn prevailed, obviously, which is great. In the back, Tucker of Heavy Machinery is met with the Ascension, and they're making fun of Otis, wondering where he is, if he's backstage dumpster diving, making fun of his weight, calling him a pig and like a bowling pin and all that stuff. And Tucker's just like, he's not gonna find this funny. And then he's like, he isn't gonna like this. And then out of nowhere, like I don't know where he came from, Otis was just there. And he's like, Tucky! And he comes out, and Tucker was like, you know, they were calling you a pig, and Otis is like, pig! And he's like, talking about when you're like a bowling pin, a bowling alley or something, and Otis is like, bowling pin! And then Tucker's like, and they say that you were dumpster diving for cheeseburgers. And Otis is just like, cheese! And he's not amused. So obviously he's getting a little mad, so Tucker just whispers, bulldoze him, and Otis like takes them both out with like this major push or something, just takes them both down. And so the Ascension is down, and Otis just says, that's what you get when you mess with Heavy Machinery! It's like, I love Otis, so it's like, I was happy. That's awesome. It was too good. And then the next thing is Bobby Lashley's mad at Leo Rush. Then near the entrance, he's asking Leo if he can trust him. And Leo's like, yes, you can. Leo's like down on himself. He's not happy about this at all. Not happy about what happened. And Bobby's even like, I asked you to go out there and get another title shot for me, and you got it for yourself. It's like, can I even trust you? Can I? And Leo's like, yeah, you can. And it's like, and then Leo has to go out there to support Bobby, who's about to go and fight Braun Strowman, which was the reason why Leo went out during the Moment of Bliss thing instead of Bobby. So they go out there, and then Braun Strowman goes out, and then like Bobby attacks Braun from behind before the match even began, and then the ref is just like, eh, and then he leaves. And then he comes back in, and then he leaves again, so the match has never happened, so they're just brawling with each other, and then Braun gets the upper hand on everybody, and then they go to the outside, and he runs over Bobby, and then he runs over Leo, and then he just walks back up the ramp, and that's it. Not much to say about that. I was just like, is this match gonna start? Oh, it's not? Oh, okay. I was a little confused by that, but I was like, oh, alright. And then Seth is interviewed by Charlie. Seth is peppy. Like, he says that he's going to win the title at WrestleMania from Brock, but what he's more happy about is that his brother Roman is in remission and that he's fine, and that he said that Roman probably has some beverages waiting for him, so he's going to go with Roman and celebrate. Okay. Not much to say about that, just happy that he's back with his friend. And then a limo comes out and is in the garage, pulls up, and Ric Flair comes out with his wife, and he's happy, ready for the celebration. And then the next match is Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre, no disqualification match. And Dean was wearing 2 belts, one so that he could do what he wanted with Drew, but Drew took most of the offense in this, and then Dean started to, but when he was about to do a move on the outside, Elias came and attacked Dean, hitting him with his guitar, which was revenge for Dean coming out. And then he threw Dean back in the ring, and then Drew went in, did the Claymore kick to Dean and got the 1-2-3. So he won, and then Bobby and everyone came out. Bobby and Braun came out, and they were all like attacking Dean. And then Seth Rollins came out with a chair, and I'm just like, oh, you're still kind of outnumbered here. And then Roman Reigns came out, and they're like went together, and Roman is like Superman punching everybody. Seth gets the curb stomp on someone, and then finally Roman gets this huge like spear on, like it was Drew or something. I don't remember who it was to exactly, but he got the spear on someone, and it was the ooh ah and everything. It was great. I love seeing it again. It was fun. And then they just left, and Dean's still just laying there, and was just kind of like looking up at them. They walk up the ramp, but then they stop and they turn, and they look at each other, and then they're looking at Dean. It's just kind of like unsure. Because I think they were just helping because it's like they're used to doing that. But then they're just kind of looking at Dean and kind of unsure. So I don't know what's going to happen with them, but I'm curious to find out more. And the final match is Bayley versus Nia Jax. Nia got a lot of offense. Bayley got some offense. Toward the end, like, Nia was nailing into Bayley in the corner. And so Sasha went to, like, check on her after. And so, like, Nia grabbed Sasha by her hair. So Bayley swooped in, like, kicked Nia to save Sasha. Tamina tried to get in, but Sasha sidestepped her, and Tamina went right into the steel steps. And then Bayley got Nia down, got up on the ropes, and did Macho Man, like, elbow onto Nia for the 1-2-3 and won. And then we found out that Nia and Tamina were going to be fighting Sasha and Bayley at Fastlane. Sasha and Bayley are fighting to have their first title defense at Fastlane against Nia and Tamina. So, okay. Then lastly, it was the Ric Flair birthday celebration. Legends and Superstars without Charlotte. Charlotte wasn't there, but like, Shawn Michaels came out, then Ricky Steamboat and Sting. Shawn and Sting, I was very happy to see those two. Those three, and then Kurt Angle came out. So it's like, they didn't have any, with Shawn, they're like, he retired. Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat, they had that feud, and then Sting, they had the feud, and Kurt Angle, he had a match tonight. Like, there was nothing they could really say, so they were like, well, he won a match tonight, and I'm like, okay. And so there's a nice video package, and then Stephanie and Triple H are talking about how Rick deserves all of this and so much more, and they made this title specifically for him, like the heavyweight championship, like specially made for him. And then he introduces him, but Rick never comes out. Rick's music plays, but he doesn't come out. And then they like show this backstage footage of someone dragging a cameraman. And then you don't see who it is at first, but then you get to the cameraman's perspective, and it's Batista. He's like, stay here. And he opens the door to Rick's room, closes it. You hear some noise, and then he opens it again, and Rick is unconscious there, and Batista's like dragging him out to the hall, puts him down, and then he's like, then he looks into the camera. He's wearing his blue like sunglasses thing. He's like, do you see, Hunter, do I have your attention now? And then randomly he takes him off, and he's like, huh? Or something. Is like, okay. So there's definitely something going on between Hunter and Batista now. Definitely. For WrestleMania, I would imagine that is very interesting. And then Triple H, like, he immediately runs out of the ring and up the ramp and to the back, finds Ric Flair, like, surrounded by the referees, and he's like, you're gonna be okay, Rick, and then yelling for a doctor, and then again being like, you're gonna be alright, and Rick is crying, he's in pain, and laying there, and Triple H is trying to console him, and like, that's basically it. And so, that was the end of the show, and I am very curious to see what goes on next Monday. Like, I want to see where this feud goes. Like, yeah, that's basically all I can say. It was a pretty good show. It was a better show, I think, than like it was last week, definitely. But I will. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I will see you in a bit when I do my next video, the SmackDown live review.